Dear audience, I would like to welcome you here. This interview is part of the series Documentary Mondays, which is organized by Czech Centres in collaboration with Institute of Documentary Film. For you who are watching us for the whole series, you may see the change in the moderator. My name is Anna Puklová. I'm working in Czech Centres and coordinating this project. And Ivana is unfortunately got the COVID-19 and she is not able to make this interview. I am here today with Apolena Rychlíková, director of the movie Limits of Work, and I would like to ask her a few questions. Welcome.
Hi, everybody.
Apolena, in your film, which was awarded the Best Czech Documentary Film on International Documentary Film Festival in Jihlava, you followed the journalist Saša Uhlová while she was working in several jobs where people are working under bad conditions and with really low salary. How long does it take to make the movie? How long you were following her?
Okay, so we started, I don't know, I think at the very beginning of 2017. What is the year, in the same year of the premiere of the film. And we started, in January, I think. In these days when Saša was looking for the first job in laundry and hospital. From then we shoot till August, I think. And last day it was in Ostrava where she worked for the garbage collector factory. So I think that it took about 7-8 months, but of course we didn't shoot every day, not even every month, because it depends on the situation. People probably know that Saša had her own camera and glasses, so something was shot in this way, and it was easier for me and DOP Honza Šípek because half of material was made by this way, so we didn't have to shoot every time when Saša worked or something like that.
So can you tell us how many hours of the material you have before you started editing? Because since she has the camera in her glasses, it seems like you had hours and hours of the material she shot it when she was working.
Oh no. It was the opposite situation because we broke, I think, 2 cameras and glasses. And Saša was a little bit nervous because of shooting, because, it was some kind of undercover research. She worked in a different identity. She changed her name and so on and so on. And so she was in a big stress that somebody will know that she's a journalist and she's making some footage there. So it was really stressful for her. So I think that I had about, 20 hours of material altogether. But the material from Saša's glasses, it was just, 2-3 hours. And mostly all of the nice footage we used with my colleague, with my editor, Kateřina Krucká-Vrbová. So it wasn't too much, I think.
Okay. And whose idea it was to make this kind of documentary? Because for those who know, Saša is a journalist who is writing articles, I think, more than making movies. And you already mentioned that she was kind of nervous to shoot when she was working. So probably it wasn't her idea, or it was?
Oh, I think that she told me in the half of year 2016 that she is really interested in this kind of job. And in these days, she worked for another medium than now. Now we are colleagues from the Alarm, which is the daily base Czech web And now we are colleagues because it started then, because in her previous work she didn't have enough space to make such a big project, so we offered her to collaborate with us. And during a few minutes, because we are close friends for many years, and during a few minutes we decided to have not even the text, not even texts, but also a film and a book, because we believe that even the big project will have some big impact. So I don't know if Sasha told me, or I asked her to if I can follow her, but from the very beginning the idea was very bright to have a big project, to have a film, to have a book, and to have some discussions after the screening, after the publishing the texts, and so on and so on.
And what was the key? Which job should Sasha try, or like she already had something in mind, like which kind of job she would like to try or be a part of this documentary, or she just chose what was possible to choose at the moment?
Yeah. I would like to add something to the previous question, because for me, one of the most important things was to collaborate with the Czech TV, Czech public TV, because I believe that this is the kind of film it should be in a television. If we had it in only in a cinema distribution, probably the impact of this film wouldn't be so big. But thanks to the Czech TV, because it was the part of the serial Czech journal, it is called in Czech Český journal, like this is the documentary serial made by Vít Klusák and Filip Remunda in production in collaboration with them and their production company Hypermarket Film, and it is based on the documentary stories which are most important for the year in the Czech Republic. So thanks to them and thanks to the Czech TV, we had some space to publish it in the Czech TV, and I think that this was very, very important for me and for Sasha. So I just wanted to say that, because this is one of the I don't know, main parts of the impact of that film, of this film. And you asked me about the jobs. Okay, so it was my job. Sasha asked me to find out her jobs. But at the very beginning, from the very beginning, we wanted to show not something what is called shit jobs, not because we think they aren't based on some kind of exploitation, and you know, we know that also in some call centers and so on, there are very bad working condition, and these kind of jobs are very bad paid. But our strategy was a little bit different, because we wanted to show people who work very hard and their income is very low, but their jobs are really such important, like working in laundry in hospital or workers on cash decks in supermarket. And you know, for example, social anthropologist David Graeber, who died last year, he used to have a very simple idea that you have to try to imagine that some work suddenly disappear from our society. And we should ask what would we do without, I don't know, teachers, nurses, without people who clean every morning our streets and so on and so on. And this type of jobs we wanted to show, because this kind of people work really hard, but they are not allowed to have a dignified life, even they have maybe, you know, more than one work and so on and so on. So it was the key. And of course we had to work, Sasha had to work in some non-specialized jobs, like she wasn't able to be a nurse because she doesn't have some education for this. So it was very simple to find out it. And what was important to make some diversity on. Sometimes it was a part-time job that Sasha worked through some working agency, and sometimes she was a real employee in factory. So we would like to show that there are not big differences between this type of working. Like there are some differences, but not as much. Like this is better and this is worse.
And can you tell which job Sasha did in the movie was the hardest one, or was there any job Sasha could imagine to do in her normal life?
I think the hardest one was the working in a supermarket, but not only because of the character of the work. It was quite okay, you know, sitting in a cash desk and making every day counting of things. But it was in the middle of the project, and Sasha had to go to work only afternoon. Mm-hmm. So she wasn't able to see her children for more than a month because they every morning went to schools or kindergarten, and before they came back, she had to go to the work, and after she came home, they already slept. So it was on a psychical level, I think, the hardest one. On a physical one, it was the working in the laundry, the first one. But on the other hand, the collective of people who were working there they were fantastic. And maybe the second one, working in a factory with chicken meal, which is owned by Andrej Babiš, and not only because of the character of the work, but also there were very bad working conditions because people, the collective of the people was totally opposite, because there were many foreigner workers, and the atmosphere was really stressful and so on. So I think that supermarket or the Vodňany.
Yeah. You somehow jump to my next question, because you mentioned the personal life, how the job is not only that you have to work hard or in bad conditions, but it also affects your personal life if you can't see your children as a mother. So I suppose you didn't want to show only the bad conditions and the low salary, but also this personal side of it. And do you think that the movie kind of fulfilled its purpose, like that it opened the debate about how high percentage of people in Czech Republic, and I'm sure that it's not only in the Czech Republic, works under bad conditions like this and the low salary, and also with the affected personal life?
Well, I think that's when we speak about the working conditions and income, we mostly speak only about the jobs and only about the numbers. An idea of my film was, okay, but it has some impact to personal lives of those people. And it was something which came out very quickly because Sasha, from the first day, wasn't able to do things which she used to do before, like going out with friends, I don't know, taking care about children. And I think for me, it was the most important thing to have some connection between your working life and your personal life, because it isn't like that you are going out of your work and now you can live totally different kind of life. The impact of your work on your personal life is really is huge. I think so. It was really important for me, and I think that if I can speak instead of Sasha, I think that this was very hard for her, because it is something you are not able to imagine. You are able to imagine that you are sitting on chair in supermarket for 10 hours. I think this is something you can easily imagine, but you are not able to imagine what's going on when you are not for a month see your children, even you are living with them in a one big flat, and you are not in another city. Mm-hmm. And you are not able to imagine that you are doing this whole life. And it was something that I think that some plus of the Sasha situation is that she has a children and I have a children. I have 2 children and she has 4 children. And I think that both of us, we focused mostly, it was some kind of feminist point of view, because if you are in the same situation, like for example mothers in factory, and you are out in a cigarette and see them texting messages home, asking, I don't know, grandmothers to pick up children from school and so on, then they are all the time under big stress, because they are thinking not even about the work, but I don't know, even about if they will have enough energy to make homeworks, if they have enough money for, I don't know, for some school important things, and so on and so on. So this was something what I think if it would be made by men, mm-hmm. I think it would be totally different film, I guess. I'm not very sure, but I think it was. And your second question was.
I was asking if you think that it like opened eyes to someone who could make a change in this.
I don't know. I can say that yes, because this is the 4 years we made it, and from this time. At least media are more interested, and I think it is also connected with Czech politics, or not even Czech, European or a global politics situation, that now all of us are facing the situation when the people who are in some kind of social and economic bad situation, they are not able to feel good or well in democracy. So now we have to more discuss about their opinions. And so I think, yes, we somehow opened the discussion about something which is called Czech B in our country. And I feel like that media now are much more interested in the problems which are not only in Prague, which are in some peripheries, which are in some connections with people working in this kind of job, or having debts, or in a not quality housing situation. So, but on the other hand, there were some factual changes in those jobs. Like they put more breaks, like 1 5-minute plus. For us, it is something unbelievable, but I believe that for those people who are working there, it is something very good, that you can go to the toilet and you are not you don't have to be in a big stress that you have to ask, and so on and so on. And there were many changes in those jobs. I'm not able now to remember all of them. So I don't know. I hope it. We spent more than a year on the road. We visited more than 50 Czech cities and villages, and we were many times abroad, twice in the European Parliament. So I think that there was such a big interest in our project. But for me was most important traveling across the Czech Republic and speaking about people, because I felt that because they already said it, like finally is somebody interested in our lives. And I felt like a big mistake that privileged people weren't able to do it before us, because there is some kind of lack of trust, and so we have to continue with this.
And you mentioned that you could see some little changes in those jobs you showed in the movie. Did you also face some kind of like problems or disagreement from the side of these companies, because you openly talked about them, like that you are in Vodňanské Kuře or you are in Albert or something?
Yes, but it was very short time, because I think that they are smart enough to be quiet, because it was really in a situation that everybody known that the truth is on our side. So it was like, okay, there were some people who spoke with press, like it is not true what Saša Uhlová find out in our company, but it was 1-2 statements, and then they stopped, because it was something what could make more damages. And I think that they knew it.
Yeah, that sounds like it makes sense. And can I ask you what you are working on now?
We continue. We have a project that is called now Limits of Europe, I think. But in the COVID, and it is based on the same thing, but we would like to discuss how is West based on the exploitation of the East European workers. So Sasha should go to the Western Europe to make some similar jobs, but because it was the limit of her work here in the Czech Republic, because even those jobs were hard or low paid and so on, she was from the Czech Republic, and she understood it was a very easy to ask somebody what to do and so on. So she only saw the people from abroad, from the Eastern Europe, who worked for lower money and worse working condition. And we would like to try to see this opposite side of the Western story of successful Europe, because we think that it is also important to see it in a more global point of view. So we are preparing for this, and now the COVID situation is very bad. So more than half of the year we are just waiting, because we need to go abroad, and so it is a little bit depressing that now we have this project, and for more than 2 years we are looking forward to it, and we feel like, okay, now we have energy to do it, and we have to wait for I don't know, more than a year. We are just like, from the COVID situation, we had to stop. And I'm also preparing a film about housing, and another project. And we are still journalists. And in collaboration with the Czech TV, we will start a new platform which is called Female Journalist. And it is something like limits of work in a small format, like 15 minutes, 15-minute stream of the social investigative with another two fantastic Czech journalists, Jana Ustohalová and Hanna Čápová. And we will go on periphery looking for another, you know, problems, what people have, and some, yeah. And I'm very happy that we can do this, because it is something I feel that this is important.
Yeah, it really fits into this series of documentary Monday we have now, which is called Powerful Voices. So
yeah. So we are continuing just because the problems in the Czech Republic, there are plenty of them. So we can have a serial about it, and it is still not enough, because we have, you know, we can do it for years.
yeah.
If we can.
Forever, maybe.
Yeah, maybe forever, yes.
And I have one last question for you as a documentary film director. What is the power of a documentary film, in your opinion?
I don't know. I have the same idea or the same answer that why I'm a journalist, because I became a journalist because I believe that we need to pick up stories of people who cannot be heard in nowadays society. Something what you said, powerful voices. Like I don't want to make films about my problems and so on, because I feel like somebody who is just like some hi-fi or you know, some radio that you just make voices of non-represented people louder. I think that people who are not winners, who suffer because of some injustice. And so I would like to tell the stories of people who are not in the center of the political or social interest, and people who still don't have their own dignity. So this is why I'm a journalist, and this is why I choose to make a documentary film. Yeah, so maybe this.
It sounds perfect, I think. So I would like to thank you. Thank you for this interview. And this interview was last in our film, in our series of 5 films under the name Powerful Voices. So thank you, Apolena.
Thanks a lot, and have a nice day. Bye.
Bye.